Good afternoon, everyone. It is Friday, July 23rd, 2021. It's 2:20 p.m. and I am coming from Medellin, Colombia. I have just a couple updates. So I've been working on my scalping this entire session, and I do learn really fast, but I just wanted to explain something. I'm currently in some buys right now. As we can see, it's two standards. Look, I have about 4.5 standards currently, and I had just entered some buys up here. I went down to the minute chart. I found some entries. I was already aware that price could breach those entries because I'm still warming up in the scalping industry, but I knew that price could potentially hit those stops and those, so that wasn't my stop out on the minute. I actually had a great feeling that this would be a nice base point for it to start to rise from, and knock out these stops and then make its way on upwards towards a breakout, which I foresee in the next 10 or so minutes. There's medium impact GBP news coming out at 2:30 p.m. my time, so I just wanted to record this video so everyone could actually see live news being released right on point and seeing how price action plays out with the news. So right now, here's the minute chart. It's testing those lows. It's inducing shorts. It's getting a lot of longs to be scared and nervous. You look over here, same thing is happening. There's these longs, they're gone. They're out of the market. These longs, they're scared. No one's really trying to enter a trade at this point. This is the perfect time for the banks and smart money to enter a trade. So what I would do as a big institutional person looking for a buy is this would be my entry where everybody thinks it's going to go out. You see that, right? Every time it whips down and makes that extension, it pulls back up, and it usually does make new highs. So for the past several hours, it's been accumulating. There's net positions at the end of the week, so we are going to potentially see some volatility because all positions, all currencies have those that news release. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pause the video if I do run out, if I am running closer to 2:30, and I will resume it right before 2:30 for everyone to see and just see clear price action. But before I do that, let me just indicate where I suspect price to shoot to. I suspect price to break 152.1. I suspect price to break 152.1, break those highs and go straight for 153, end the day, magnetize itself towards that resistance. I strongly believe this is going to happen. Just gotta wait on it. And yes, price is close to my stop loss, but I'm now thinking the reverse, that if I could enter trades with the bare minimal, it doesn't matter. But let's take a look at this in a few minutes. I'll update you all. Okay, so there's about 3 minutes left until the news is released. We can check it out right here on the 1 minute. See the push down, inducing sellers. And we can see 2 minutes. There's the CFTC speculative net positions. So it happens across all currency pairs on Friday. And while we wait, just click on it. Continue to monitor this pair. 2 minutes. Looks like it's dug into the lows, created a hammer, waited for candlestick confirmation, and I do suspect a drive upwards. Just give it a little time. Okay, I'll let the rest of the video run. for the remainder of this 30 minutes. I click on the 15 because I like to see a setup. Maybe we'll get like a candlestick formation on the 15, which would give it a clear indication. Let's just wait for the reaction of the news. If it's positive news, and for GBP we have higher indication it'll go up, but if it's negative it'll go down. But I'm not basing my moves off of the news. The news is going to reflect what price is already placed in. So if it's bound to be a bad news, I'm getting out early while everyone else is confused until it hits their stops. You see those stops down there. But if it's good news, I'm going to look for the other way around to hit these guys' stops. So there's two zones, and we're trapped in between them. So let's see what happens. Oh, it's 30. What we need is strong momentum towards the upside for this to be confirmed, and we do need to see price close above the SMA, the EMA I have placed, and I would also like to see a crossover. That would be triple confirmation on the minute that more than likely price is going in my favor, and that would be a nice solid entry if I were to scalp myself into this. But let's just be patient, wait a few minutes, and I'll update you guys. Just give the market some time to respond. Everyone's just getting the news. I say a solid 5 minutes after the news would be a good indication for a intraday setup. So let's just give it a couple more minutes. The 1 minute close, that's a very beautiful indication right there, a bullish engulfing, followed by a doji candle. Then there is also a hammer. So this combination move right here, if you were looking into a micro, maybe like the 15-second time frame, you could see that price did clearly break resistance, and it should be on its way up. It's currently going for the retest, so it could push price to the next zone, in which I do suspect it to clear by the next 5 to 10 minutes. This is how you reprice. This is all live, so we are viewing this in real time. Oh, there we go. Second minute, we got more conviction. Let's actually see what the news release happened in. Okay. Net positions. Okay, and you guys can see on the, this is very slow. I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, just a moment, guys. And I do have a lot of tabs open too, so could be a reason why my computer is so slow. Close out this Bloomberg video. All right, commodity futures, so you guys can read that. I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds while my computer loads. Okay, so gave you guys enough time to read that. Scroll down so we can see the actual figures. July 23rd has yet to be released. Close out of these ads. All right, let me just refresh the page. Hold on, guys. Pause this video. All right, so it doesn't look like they released the actual figures yet. I don't know why they're holding. Maybe that's part of the market manipulation. But let's go back to the charts. You know, it's been a few minutes and I haven't seen any updates. And when I do refresh my page, There's still no actual update, and it says that it's released at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, so it should have been released. So let's go back to the charts so we can see price, and it is respecting that boundary, but we have not seen anything yet. I'll give it a few more moments. Come back in 5 minutes. Okay, so I waited a little longer than 5 minutes because I just wanted the whole hour to pass by. There's still no news release on the CFTC, which is indicating to me that it might be somewhere else, or it might just be information that's released to inside individuals before it's publicly made. But we can see the market's still making its formation over the course of that entire 30 minutes. See that price rejected support and it attempted to drive towards the upside. Now it's struggling, but this is exactly how the markets move. And so when I go to the 5-minute time frame and zoom out, see exactly what it did. Price, it's bouncing from lows, making higher lows. And this right here is a downtrend. If you want to get technical, we could say that, yes, it did, in fact, close below the 786. So we should see a drive down below. And if it breaks these lows, then there's high confirmation. If it breaks 151.9 lows and it closes below that, then we could possibly see it going down towards 151.8 and below. But as of right now, I legit am so firm with my setup that if I could put half my account on this trade, I would, because that's the type of certainty and confidence that I have in my setup that I can do that. But let's finish this up. So we're still waiting. Still got some time in the markets, about 1 hour left, and I don't really see too much going on. So me personally, if price doesn't break this high within this next 30 to 45 minutes, then I'm going to close out wherever price ends up at the end of the day. But if it does, and that's a big if, it does close above there, then I'll continue to monitor it. So give me a moment and we'll come back. Okay, we are in the last 11 minutes of the market for the week. And this is actually pretty crazy. Now, I watched the entire past 30 minutes. Price was manipulating sellers. You see all of these sellers? There's so many stops in these areas. This is a beautiful setup. And as soon as the last bit of sellers are induced, price dipped down one last time, created a bullish engulfing candle with high momentum. Not too high, but it's definitely higher than the false breakout candle that we see. These are all false breakouts. They're low. And then right after that, for the buyers that got in, that had tight stops, it whipped right back down and hit those stops and then continued on up. Now it's hitting the stops of these guys, but on its way up, it's also hitting the stops of these guys. So you can see how this is a momentum build. You see all the volume being hit. This is money being collected. So I wanted to just really create this video. Look at this crazy mad stops on stops. You guys are seeing it live right here, and then you can see the higher time frame picture up here. Straight stops. That is crazy. How far is this going to go? We'll see. I believe this candle is going to get engulfed. I believe so. That's a very large volume. So it will only be right to make larger volume, especially for those angry buyers. Like they're so upset right now. I'm sure if I was an emotional retail trader, I'd probably take this as a sell candle and try to put all my money at the end of the week, try to make it back. We'll see what happens though. Oh wow, now they want to play the game of just standing still. Wow. What happened down here was, I mean, it was profit taking. It literally, it's about 9 minutes left in the markets. Brokers are closing. It's the end of the day, and they need to carry price somewhere. So, I mean, someone's gonna be holding it at the end of the day. Big money. So I think we got enough sellers for the day. Look over here to the left. Just keep paying attention. You see how it's reacting so like rapidly at the end of the hour. So at the end of the day, end of beginning of the day, like I think this is like a scalper's paradise. And so I'll probably do more recordings towards the end and beginning of the markets just because I think the most volatility actually occurs on like the switch of sessions, end of the day. And so I'm gonna definitely pay attention. Look at that candlestick on the right. There's a look at bearish candle with high volume, but wasn't high enough for a breakout to the downside, followed by a hammer, inverted hammer at the bottom, showing that price completely stopped. Where's all the sellers there? And then what's happening now? I actually want to zoom in. I don't know what. Oh my goodness. Hold up a second. I should just zoom in. All right. All right. So, and then we see after all of these past three candles, this is the first, second, the third candle. It was a bullish engulfed the entire second candle. There's a wick. It tapped the wick, and then something very interesting happened. I see this manipulated move all the time for many years. Price, we know is gonna go up, but as I explained earlier, that in my other video, my previous video, I said that you do get a signal, but you also have to be alert of a potential, um, you know, drive into your signal, and that's what we just see. We see the signal where we know that okay, price should go up, but then we see all this weird movement afterwards, making everyone think it's gonna go down. Okay, stops hit, perfect, beautiful. Now, buyers. I've heard from somewhere that it costs banks $1 billion per pip to move a pip in the market. So, just a fun fact: every pip is $1 billion. So, if you want to make good money, you look for the right time, which is right where everyone is convinced that it's gonna go down. Especially when you make this type of move, where it's a false breakout, drive to the downside. I mean, you weren't even taught that. Like you were taught that this is supposed to go up. You were taught that this is supposed to go down. Now you're about to see that this is not actually going to go down, and this is actually going to go up. But like I said, it's tricky. You have to know the markets. Like it took me many years to get this type of intuitive feel for it. But I mean, this is why I like to scalp live, to show you guys and explain every step of the way, because it takes a lot to really deconstruct these markets. I'll probably make one of these videos every week to like let it run for like 20-30 minutes long and show you guys like a live session trade. But I'll update everyone at that point. I'm still watching the markets. It's very close to my stops, but I set these stops a couple of hours ago, and it still hasn't. I'm not worried. It's not really much money if I lose, but when you do these enough times, you can actually just understand. especially if you've been shorting this type of setup for many years. Like, look at this. It looks like a sell. Pull back. You got the strong candlestick. Everything looks beautiful. And then there's a lot of sellers up here as well because it looks like a sell. Stop losses are right there. What do you think the market is going to do? It's going up and it's going to hit these stocks. And I would put $1 billion per pip on it right now if I had that much, but I don't. But let's see. Let's see it hit those stops right now. It's almost predictable. Up, stops hit. So simple. All right, now, before it goes up, I knew it. Drive to the downside one last time. That's the last kiss. Now we're gonna take it off. Yup. Make it look raw. Spike. 3 minutes left in the markets. Oh my goodness. You guys see this? You guys are watching this. 3 minutes left in the markets. I might have to put this on a higher time frame. I think it's gonna wipe out the whole zone. This is very exciting. It could go both ways as well, so just be prepared, guys. Here we go. Now a pause. Too much money flowing. Wow. Especially at the last couple minutes, they got everyone thinking it's going down, and they stopped out literally that entire buyer, like everyone that thought it was going up. Like, you got one drive to the high, failure, two drives to the high, failure, third drive, failure, a quick snap. We got a couple minutes left. This is how I determine if I want to hold my trade over the weekend and pay the swap fee, or if I want to close out. Or I can also get stopped out, in which I don't really mind neither, because this is just really cool video. I actually like, scalping is definitely, got to take your emotions out of it. I don't really have any emotions, so now I'm just kind of just appreciating being patient and finding the best setups. You got to be really, really on point. Okay. Got about a minute left. And one reason why I do not want to get caught up in the over weekend spread, because what's going to happen is I already know where price is going to go. Make sure I have nothing else set up. Anything nearby. Perfect. Beautiful. So that's how I'm going to end my week and end the video. And pretty much I closed out because I'm scalping. It's the end of the week. And what's going to happen is that is the market still going? It's 5 p.m. Okay, yep, it's closed. I was making sure. So, yeah. So the reason why I close out is because it's the end of the week. And at the end of the week, the weekend hours start and you start to get swap fees. So I'm going to get charged overnight swap fees for a few days until Monday or Sunday when it opens. And also Sundays are, you can still scalp Sundays. That's where I believe the market's going up on Sunday. But also when the market does open up, it's going to widen the spread. And so what may happen is I may actually end up getting stopped out prematurely because I have a 15 pip stop. Okay. And I know that on GJ, the spread can get as high as 30 pips. Sometimes I've seen even higher. And that's an instant stop out as soon as the market opens the next week. So with my current drawdown that I had, I was still up on the money because I had a 2 standard lot at the bottom. That was my base, and I waited for it to clear enough pips. So then I started scaling into trades. And what I intended for those trades to do was to actually go forward and break out and hit the high of the month, which is currently above 153, going towards 155. If we zoom out on the 4-hour time frame, you can actually see that the high of the month, June, July, all right, it's around 154. So aiming for the high of the month, that's a solid couple hundred pips away. I do believe going into next week that the markets will climb towards the high of the month, definitely 153. So I'm going to be streaming live with you guys next week, some trade setups and some scalp sessions. And yeah, this is going to be how I'm going to be doing it from now on, because practice makes perfect, and what better way to practice than to hit up the arena of the bosses and sharks, and that's the scalping time frames. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Very, very educational, I hope, and I'll follow up with you guys next week. Have a great weekend.